Hey guys, it's Laura. I'm switching it up here with the background. I'm in my room on my bed. That's why it's like so high up because my bed is like a bunk bed thing. I don't know if you can see, but those cool book wall shelf things, those are from my grandpa, and those are probably some of the coolest book wall shelves I've ever seen. They hold so many books, and in my opinion, they look pretty cool. They're pretty messy right now. I don't have them organized, but those are a few of my hardcover books that I like to store on there because they're pretty. Anyways, that's getting really off topic. I wanted to do a book review for you guys. This is my first ever video review, so I think that's pretty exciting. I decided to do a book review for a book that I really enjoyed, which was The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Okay, now, if you haven't heard about this book, you're living under a rock. It seems like I'm the last person to read this book. Everyone else I know has read it and absolutely loved it. I've had this on my bookshelf like more than a year now, at least a year. I got this at my school's Scholastic book fair thingy, and I love Scholastic book fairs because it's like a bookstore in your school, which is awesome, except I hate the books. I don't know if you can see it, that's like really crinkly in the middle, and I just don't like that, but other than that, it's fine. Wow. That's all I can say. Well, I can say more, but I'm just going to start with wow. This book took my breath away. I almost gave it 5 stars, except for it took me like 100 pages to get into it. It took me 6 days to read 100 pages, which is crazy because it takes me 6 days to read like 3 or 4 books at least, you know? So to read just like a third of a book, or kind of like a fourth of the book in this case, in 6 days was insane. But I read the remaining 270 pages in like a day because once they entered into the arena, the book really started picking up, and I just couldn't put it down. So it says, winning means fame and fortune, losing means certain death. The Hunger Games have begun. And this is when you cue the dun 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 suspenseful music, that type of stuff, right? Okay. In the ruins of a place once known as North America lies the nation of Panem, the shining capital surrounded by 12 outlying districts. The capital is harsh and cruel and keeps the districts in line by forcing them all to send one boy and one girl between the ages of 12 and 18 to participate in the annual Hunger Games, a fight to the death on live TV. 16-year-old Katniss Everdeen regards it as the death sentence when she steps forward to take her sister's place in the games. But Katniss has been close to death before, and survival for her is second nature. Without really meaning to, she becomes a contender, but if she is to win, she will have to start making choices that weigh survival against humanity and life against love. So let's start with like the plot and everything. It was amazingly fast-paced. Once I got past the first bit of it, wow. It was really just like action after action. There was a lot of stuff going on. There was a lot of death scenes and action and suspense and just things that you're like sitting on the edge of your seat, clenching your fists around the book like, oh my gosh. So I really liked that about the book, that it had the power to just drag me in and make me almost, I kind of put myself in Katniss's place, and this kind of rolls into the character aspect. Katniss was an amazing protagonist. She was totally kick-ass. I know you hear this like all the time about her, but she really was just one of the best protagonists. I couldn't have even imagined a better protagonist for the Hunger Games. I think she fit the role perfectly, and Suzanne Collins really molded her into like a non-perfect, but almost not perfect, but she was perfect for this part. Sure, she had flaws like a lot of protagonists too, and it's great when protagonists have flaws because, You don't want them to be perfect. That's not realistic. So she was just awesome. And at the beginning of the book, her friend Gail, like the first chapter when they were out hunting, I was like, ooh, I sense a love interest here. And then my friend Hira, who was like hounding me to read this book, she's like, you will not regret it. Just read it. Just read it. And I was like, oh, all right. So I read it, and I was like, dude, Gail seems like an amazing love interest. And she's like, just wait. And I was just like, ah. So I had to read on and figure out what happened. And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was so surprised when, you know who, if you've read this book, I know there are people out there who have not read this book yet, so I don't want to give much away, but if you have read this book, you know who the love interest turns out to be, and you're just like, oh my goodness. I like how she incorporated the action and the suspense, and also the humane, and also, I love how she made Katniss totally, like, kick-ass, but she also made her have some empathy, and she gave her a lot of humanity. I really like that she wasn't a ruthless murderer, because that would have made me not be able to connect to her, because I'm not a ruthless murderer. But, yeah. So, I really like that I was able to put myself in Katniss's situation and think, like, wow, this could be me. Like, would I be able to be this smart to get myself out of these situations? Because Katniss, she gets herself out of some really crazy situations. I don't even know if I'd been able to, like, think my way out of it, or I don't know. My parents always joke with me, like, Laura, you're book smart, but you are not street smart. And I kind of believe that, because when it comes to thinking logically and getting myself out of, like, situations, I'm not the best. It'll take me a while, but just thinking on the dot like Katniss does, and being so quick-witted and all that, it's just amazing. I loved this book. It was an amazing, amazing read. If you haven't read it, please go pick it up. The challenges that I read this book for were the 350-page challenge, which is ran by Ashley at What's Your Story. I'll post her website below. And yeah, I gave this book 4.5 out of 5. And I would have given it 5 if it hadn't taken me so long to get into it. But I think it's great because it could be enjoyable by both genres. It's not just geared towards the female audience or the male audience. That's basically my review of The Hunger Games. And I really enjoyed it. If you haven't read it, please do. It's breathtaking, amazing, had me on the edge of my seat. It was just great. So if you haven't read it, read it, and thank you for watching. That was my first book review in video form. So tell me if you guys like the video format, and if you do, if you like seeing my reviews in video, I'll try to do some more video reviews and not just written reviews. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!